Okay, well, I got about 2 or 3 minutes into a video and I had to erase quite a few apps in order to make more space. I think I have like 42 gigs used on just my music recording program alone, so I'm constantly having to erase more and more stuff to make room. I think I'm going to have to get the program, put it on the computer, and transfer a lot of the contents to the computer. More headaches, more stuff I don't like to do. I feel oftentimes that I should be kind of given a pass with these kind of things, that I should mostly be working on creative stuff, communicating, that's what I'm good at, and all the techie stuff is just really slowing me down. But until I put myself out there, until I get some help, get some recognition for what I'm doing, I'm not going to receive any. So I have to take that big move and ask for help. Put myself out there and ask for help. And we're close to getting the website done. We'll see what happens with the techie guy working on it. Speaking of tech, this is a nice little drum right here. And it has a great tech sound. T-E-K, which is a phonetical term in the Middle Eastern drum language for a real high-pitched kind of sound. These little tambourines are fantastic. It's a Remo, it's got a fiber skin, and throw it in a bag, put it in the car, in the glove compartment. Where the hell can't this thing go? You know, you can jam along with anybody, anywhere. I like to share stuff. Sharing stuff is just natural to a soul. It's natural in heaven. You create something you want to share. It's natural for us too, because we're not completely devoid of our heritage as souls. Okay, so much to talk about. Salvation. Whoa, big topic. Yeah. Well, it is the central topic. It's the utmost important topic. And we got to get something straight here about what we're going to focus on. Now, I'm going to focus on salvation because that's my thing. This brain has been completely rewired such that it's basically the only thing that matters to me. And it should be the only thing that matters to you, too, truthfully. Really, because salvation is the answer for everything. Literally everything. Okay, so we're going to picture a river. And the river goes diagonally across the screen, okay? This is where it empties into the mouth of the ocean, right? The mouth empties into the ocean, and this is the source, up in the Himalayas, we'll say. Okay, so this is where the water starts. This is where it's real pure. This is the origin. And some people, I think, in India still like to go up to the origin of the rivers. It's a holy thing to go up to the top of the Ganges, you know, and it's a ritual, and it pretty much doesn't do anything, but, you know, people like the rituals. We've been living in a very ritualistic age for a long time, and most of humanity has been ritualistic, and ritualism is pretty much useless for the most part. It placates the conscience, makes you believe you're doing something good to earn karma points, but it's really not doing that much at all. I know from experience. A lot of experience with rituals. They don't do anything. They're not helpful. 2017, goddammit, we got to be effective, we got to be functional, we got to think of how we're going to fit in with purpose, with conviction, with motivation to do the right thing. Okay, so the source of the problem, that's source of the river, source of the problem. That's where you want to focus your energy. That's where you can actually do something, because whatever you do down here, up here, it affects everything below. So you put arsenic in at the top, it goes down the whole river, and maybe there's still trace amounts if it gets to the mouth, if there's enough of it. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of problems that we focus on are, you know, here somewhere. You know, politics is right near down here. It's like right near the you know, where the river's like real muddy and you can't really get anything down here because it's all just confusion. It's all just a web of lies and BS and all kind of corporate cocksuckers and all that kind of stuff. Stuff that souls don't care for. So we don't get into politics very much down here. We make a little fun of it maybe, but we don't give it too much importance. And if you give it too much importance, you're making it important. So, like this whole call your congressman kind of thing, I just don't understand it. I don't understand why people are so obsessed with getting senators and congressmen and presidents to do things. Why? We got us. We got the fucking internet. We can do things. We can organize. It's all about organization. The scumbags, I think I missed the acronym by one letter. Let's do that again. Scumbags. So I want another word for Satanists. I thought... And, you know, I don't like Illuminati, I don't like elite, because they're not elite at all. but they're the scum at the top, right? So scumbags, I think, works pretty well. Acronym, again, is Satanic Cult of Useless Mooches Brainwashing and Governing Souls. Not humanity, souls. At the end, humanity would work, but then it would be scumbaff, because the GH would produce an F sound. Speaking of F, and there's a little tangential, but I just saw a documentary on farting called Fart, a Documentary. Very good. Now, I think farting is funny just like most other people, and they were talking about like why it's funny. We'll get back to the river thing in a second. I only got a few minutes. Well, I got all afternoon. I can do as many of these as I need to, as I want to, but I want to stay on topic, because every time I press the stop, then I have to, get on some other subject or something. Well, why is a fart funny? It's funny because you're trying to be the serious creature. But what does a fart do? It reveals that you are full of shit. You, the serious creature, you just proved to the world that you're full of shit. It's not even slightly ambiguous. You just proved it. You're full of shit. That's what's really inside you. And that's why a fart is funny, because it completely betrays this kind of serious demeanor that I'm this caricature in this nightmare. No, you're not. You're not this caricature. Not really. You're a soul behind all this bullshit, and a fart completely betrays that caricature of who you're trying to be. And so, very useful. This guy named Jim Dawson, I have 3 books by him, and also my good friend Patty, she illustrated this book. I'm going to get that book for you, so you can see, because she did a beautiful job for this book. It's all about farting. Someone wrote all these poems, and she did the pictures for it. Anyhow, good stuff. Back to the river. So, focusing too much, anywhere along here, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where we focus along here. We're not going to solve the problem unless we solve the problem as close to the source as possible. Now, we have to solve the solvable problem, which means that we can't put it into an abstraction. So if it has to do with aliens, okay, the aliens are going to do whatever the fuck the aliens are going to do. You can't really affect that unless, of course, you get, zapped up, abducted, and I don't know if they just have their way with you, or if you can negotiate with them when you're up there, or whatever it is. But I have not heard anybody who's into aliens and UFOs and the etheric realm, the astral realm, all these different layers of reality, the universe, and all these different beings out there, the people inside the earth, the Agarthans, and the Cassiopeans, and the Arcturans, and the Pleiadians. None of these people have a practical mindset for salvation, which is how I stand apart. Now, I saw myself as being very flawed for quite a while, because I didn't see myself having all these experiences that were telling me that this stuff is true. But really, when I think about it, if I've been taught by a good teacher, and I have been taught by a good teacher, I have only gotten the experiences that are necessary, and I've only learned what I need to know to teach the ABCs of salvation. Now, I know the ABCs of salvation. I don't know XYZ too well. I probably know the XYZs better than the elemental Ps, but for the most part, I'm just teaching the ABCs of salvation. I'm just giving you everything I know. I'm not leaving anything of what I know out. Why? Because that's just natural for me to do. It's beneficial for me to have you learn the ABCs of salvation, because whatever you do to help salvation affects me positively. That's the way it works. That's the laws of heaven. Whatever is good for anything is good for something else. It's always positive sum game. It's not like planet Earth, which is sometimes a zero-sum game, but usually it's a negative-sum game here. What was I talking about before? The commercial just screwed me up. Freaking advertising. Bill Hicks, he did some really brilliant commentary on advertising. And he basically says, if you're in advertising, kill yourself. Really good advice, by the way. We're talking about farting, we were talking about the river. I'm going to have to stop this video and start another one in a few minutes anyhow. I'd rather do that because otherwise it takes like 2-3 hours to get the video onto the computer if I stop before 10 minutes. At least it did the last time. Maybe the new iOS has changed that. But important topic here, the river. So we're going to keep with it. I'll start up that topic of conversation in a few minutes.